back to my channel, and the story we have right now is how the legacies of Elrufai, legacy of terror, legacy of fear in the southern Kaduna people, how that legacy has been torn apart today by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, by Hubasani, because what we have right now is the Christians, the people of southern Kaduna, have seen the light at the end of the tunnel. In a nutshell, what I'm trying to tell you is the Northerners, when they sense you are a threat, they will do everything to turn you to a shadow of yourself. I mean, take a look at what Atiku is doing. Just some hours ago, Atiku already unveiled a bus, okay, with his posters written on it that E for president in ADC. And then you all think Atiku will step down for Peter Obi. If you're in that ADC coalition, just as I am, but if you have knowledge of the notion and conviction that it must be the turn of the South, then I must tell you, you're nothing but a sabo to us and all of us in the South. Now, going back to the issue of the evil legacies left behind in Kaduna, to be specific, southern Kaduna, by Elrufai. Now, when Elrufai was the governor of Kaduna State, the southern Kaduna were so marginalized that they could hardly sleep with their two eyes closed. You know why? Because the military couldn't access Kaduna because there were bad roads. In fact, there was less, when I say less alarm, less notification to the federal government that you need to go there and sort the issue. But instead, what we had then was Elrufai said the southern Kaduna people never loved him. Just recently, he said it on one of his recent interviews. He said he was unapologetic because the southern Kaduna people were not politically relevant. Yes, he said the southern Kaduna people never loved him, no matter what he did to them. That he has looked at it, hence they deserve such, marginalization. But here we are today. Southern Kaduna has a federal university of science and technology. Here we are today. We have not heard any killings, or should I say incessant killings in Buhari, in Chikun, just as we used to hear on a daily basis under the regime of Elrufai. Little wonder why Ubasani and Elrufai are no more close allies. And these are the people who are in the coalitions, whom my principal is some sort, laying his back. Yes, you have to build bridges. However, when you are building bridges, your interest must be known. I mean, you don't just build a bridge to nowhere. You build a bridge. I am building this bridge so that I can get this. It's as simple as that. I have learned so much lessons from this guy they call Jagaban. When Tinubu was spending money in the north, when he was hosting his colloquium, whatever, seminars and symposiums in the north, after he gives his economic policies, which of course are shambles, are shambolic, but where he never got it wrong was he never heeded his agenda. Everybody knew that why Tinubu was doing this was simply doing it because he wanted to become the president and because he wanted to go in there after Buhari. Everybody saw it. Everybody knew that Tinubu was doing all this because he wanted to run for presidency come 2023. So today, while Obi is building the bridge, I beg him, please tell the likes of Elrufai and Atiku that it is still the turn of the South. Obasanjo went to Ghana 2 days ago. He said that, he agrees it's the turn of the South. And, a president can do everything, can do many things in 4 years, set a precedent, set an example, exemplary leadership. I agree. But this must be stated clearly in the coalition. Because when I keep seeing Atiku with the car, I am worried. I am worried because I do not want to cry by 2027 when they eventually stop My guy at the back, because the North are known for that. I mean, you will not believe that you can be stabbed at the back until when it happens. I mean, Wike is a perfect example. We all know what Wike went through from Tambua, how Tambua stabbed him, how Wike fed Tambua for at least 2 to 3 years using the resource of rivers. You know, but again, let's go back to the issue of Elrufai legacies and how Tinubu has actually dismantled it. Beyond southern Kaduna, the middle belters are having a breath, a breath of fresh air. Because the people of southern Kaduna today and the middle belt mostly have been able to rediscover themselves, not just in the polity, but of course in governance. They are of the idea that by 2027 they will possibly be the favorites that will be going for what we call the vice presidential candidate. And again, that reminds me, this is why I say that the next INEC chairman will be a Yoruba person. The vice president will be from the North Central and a Christian indeed. That's it. Okay? Yes. So these legacies of the Fulanization agenda, of the Fulani hegemony, of the Northernization agenda, that it is only when the likes of the Elrufais, it is what they say, what they do, what they demand for, that it will go. No. So Tinubu has demystified all these things. He has made them look like a paperweight. They all now look, restless and hopeless. They don't even know how they gotta kick this guy out. Okay, because they feel that Tinubu will get in there and we will keep bowing to the whims and caprices of the northwestern Nigeria, like Obasanjo did, like Jonathan did. I mean, in that second tenure of Jonathan, the greatest mistake Jonathan did was for him to pander to the north, most especially to the northwest. His mistake was to pander to the northwest, because the northwest, where Buhari came from, were the one pressuring him, and instead of him to immediately shift his alliance into the middle belt, he didn't. And meanwhile, he forgot that the first election he won, it was because the middle belt stood behind him. And I've come to that term that if Obi must win the election, first and foremost, declare intention that why I am building the bridge is simply because I want to be the president from 2027 to 2031. That's one. And then secondly, it is still the turn of the South. When he makes all these things clear and known, if he sees any form of reluctancy or maybe sabotage, immediately he realizes his interest to the South or to the North Central. But when he's silent, you are just playing a game that is not transparent, not decisive. I think all the Northerners will definitely back Atiku, because we all know that when it comes to Nigerian politics, the Northerners will never compromise their interests for anybody. They will not. They will never do that. I'm telling you. You think if it was Atiku that was rigged openly as Obi was rigged in 2023, you think Atiku wouldn't have done something terrible? Do you think so? But because Atiku know he didn't win, and Atiku first and foremost knew that it wasn't the turn of the North, that was why he had to lay low. And these are the things, these are the matters, these are the conversations we need to start having as the day goes by. That Tinubu has already demystified the North. He knows that the Northwest, when you don't do their bidding, just go to the middle belt, give them what they want. In fact, you'll be surprised that in that middle belt, there is up to 5 million votes there. Yes, I think that, what am I saying now? Up to 6 million votes. My suggestion is, if IADC betrays Obi, North Central alone can give Tinubu close to 5 million votes. I'm telling you. Yes. Because everything the North Central, the Middle Belt, I've always wanted was for them to have their identity, okay, reignited and reawakened, and that has been done. Secondly, the likes of Southern Kaduna, the likes of Borno, Benue, have now gotten something that they have lost, which is the dignity. They have always been under the shadow of the what? Of the Fulanese. But today we know that is different. Otherwise, why would the Northerners be crying and be telling you that Tinubu is decisive, he wants to separate the North from the North Central? Why do you think they're saying that? It's because they themselves are feeling it. Yes. I mean, the Middle Belters are saying that when there will be census, they will not say that the language they speak is Hausa. They will put their local language there. Well, you see, the days ahead are interesting, and I love it, you know. And this is how Tinubu has dismantled all the legacies, because the only thing this young man, Elrufai, relies on, of course, is that structure, the northern structure that they know they have, okay, including the Middle Belt. They believe that when they push that interest, speak that language, people will queue in. And hence, they will always give you that conditionality that if we will give you our support, you do this and do this. Or you will not do this and you will not do this. You will not change the constitution, you will not bring state police, you will not do state resource control. You can imagine all the kinds of legacies that they have. Elrufai, who wants to be, the successor or the custodian of the Buhari's legacies. Buhari's legacies, which are the Fulanization agenda, Ruga, Fulani Elders seen as federal project. Those are the legacies of Buhari. Compensating repentant Boko Haram bandits, the legacies. So you can imagine how these things are what was happening in Kaduna. Okay, if you try to speak up, if you try to argue, you will be marginalized, or in some cases, like Dadiata, you go missing, you disappear. It's gonna be a very interesting year, 2026 to 2027, because I know the battle of the soul of this country will start and end by 2027, because as a people who cherish their identity and culture, I know the Middle Belt do not joke with it. I know we in the South also will never be subservient to some people who think they are superior, they are above every other person in this nation. Just imagine Atiku unveiling his campaign bus for president in ADC, even when the promise has not been done. Let's watch the video together. Bye for now.
Gbé jáde, òṣèlú kì í gbé kọ̀rọ̀, gbòṣèlú ẹ jáde, gbé jáde, gbé jáde, òṣèlú kì í gbé kọ̀rọ̀, gbòṣèlú ẹ jáde. Translation. Translation is bring it out, make it visible. Politics doesn't operate in the corner. Bring your politics out. Essentially, that is what we are here to comment.
These are the true followers of Buhari, and we are here today, sir. When this coalition started, we started identifying with the party that we want to go along with. It was our effort, sir, that we met in Abuja here to identify with the coalition even before the identification of the platform that through G3 with the ruling government.
You see me, I don't need to tell you I'm CPC. If you see Malami, former AGF, don't need to tell you that he's CPC. Yes. If you see former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir Ahmed Elrufai, you don't need to tell you he's CPC. Then you can now compare with the faces that you have seen in the villa dining. My leader, I want to reassure you our commitment. The CPC block is intact. President Muhammadu Buhari has left an unprecedented mark in the history of this country, and we will not let it dwell.
We are now about melting into the new political platform that God has chosen for us and appointed you as the leader, that is in ADC now. And inshallah, from all indication, this time we are making it. Not you making it, we are the ones making it. Because as far as life is concerned, you don't need anything anymore in life. You have done your best. You serve in the customs to the extent you reach the peak, but God didn't want you to become the Controller General. He gave you an alternative. You've become one of the most powerful vice presidents in the history of Nigeria, and since then you've been consistent in politics. You've been picking the children of nobody and turning them into somebody. Because I'm from Adamawa, I can mention names of people that I know. Even your families, even their families cannot be identified when you mention them. But today, they walk on the streets as people with pride and whatever, that they had the opportunity to serve.
So I'm particularly delighted to receive you today to say that this is a continuation of your own journey, of your own struggles. And I believe with your support, we will be able to translate this journey into success. Not only that, to also form a government that will have the kind of impact that really President Buhari would have loved to see in this country. That is a government that will be responsive to the needs of the ordinary people, that will be responsible for peace, unity in this country.
Thank you.